What's good, everybody? DeMel Speaks here. It's been a minute, but I'm back up in it. Excuse the mess in the back. About to clean that up in a second. Today, what crossed my mind is being a truck driver is highly irritating when you know you can do a job real well, but factors in the job hold you back. Now, I know we all have those issues where certain jobs promise you things, and when you exceed those promises, they start to slowly hold you back. I was told I cleared 2,400 miles, which is pretty decent for this run, this dedicated run. That's what I'm looking for, though. I'm looking for 22 to 2,400, and if I can do it 2,500 miles a week, that's where we make our money. Anything less than that, it puts a damper on your pockets. It puts a damper on the things you want to do in life. When you're trying to save up, when you're investing, when you're trying to, make sure things at home are good, being let down by your company is a hindrance. I really like this company too, but I have a load in which it's like 600 and some odd miles, almost 7, 12-hour run, 12 hours. I could do the run in 12 hours. I did it already. But the appointment date is 2 days later. So mind you, I pick up the load early because I was done with the load prior at a decent time. Ran, got my load, and hopped on the freeway. Ran the clock out. Almost ran the clock out. I think I did like 10 and a half hours of driving. Now, mind you, like I said, it's a 12-hour run. So I already did 10 and a half hours of it. So why would they schedule an appointment 2.5 days later, pretty much? Picked the load up on Friday. Did the 12 hours. Now, I did 11 and a half because I knew I wouldn't be able to drop it off until, the start of the work week, which is Monday, which is today. But I asked to change the schedule because change the drop-off time due to the fact that I'm not making any money sitting around. We don't make money being posted up, waiting to drop a load. I know that's part of trucking, but at the same time, you would think those that make the appointments calculate how much time it takes for us to get to a certain destination, give or take a tire popping, or pulling over to take a 30-minute break, or a R&R break. If you factor all that in, let's say 14 hours. With the tire, let's give it an extra wait time. Let's give it an extra 7 hours. So let's say 20 hours. Let's say the whole run, given that factor of something happening, 20 hours. So that's 2 days of running. Boom, boom, get it done. You're there. Why would you have to wait an extra day and a half to drop the load off? Factoring in those 20 hours. With no issues, still doing an R&R break, still doing your 30-minute break. You do it in 13 hours, 12 and a half, 13 hours. There's no reason that it should be calculated to where if you can get to your destination in pretty much a day of driving as a truck driver, 10, 11 hours, plus an extra 2-3 hours like I've been saying, that you have to wait around an extra 2 days. My appointment is tomorrow, the 24th. I've been sitting around since 1:30 yesterday. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. But the way I run, I enjoy getting those good miles. I enjoy, if I'm gonna be out here not going home every 2 weeks, how I'm supposed to, how it's scheduled for me to go home. I try to stay out 3 weeks to make the good money, you know. And I want those 2,400 mile week runs, because that's where you make the most money. That's where I'm comfortable at. And if you're not a good driver, yeah, you might do that 2-day run for 700 miles, which is insane, you know, because they're not checking your truck correctly and, you know, tapping the tires to make sure they're not bald or flat or anything like that, checking the air, everything, making sure everything's good. But to be promised or given an idea how many miles you're gonna get on your route, and you tend to not get that every week, it's hurtful. It really is. I'm not tripping because I just found out it's a scheduling issue. Definitely it's a scheduling issue. But those type of issues should be fixed immediately, so your drivers aren't sitting around for 2 days not making any money. Now, even the layover pay for having to wait that they pay you doesn't even calculate to what you can make if you're able to run. But I accept it because I have a good DM. She's cool. So she does her best to, you know, give me what I need and make sure I'm running. And when she can't, I'm like, all right, cool. But it's times where you get irritated about getting runs where you're not making any money. We're in it to make money. So when we're put in a predicament where we're not making money, it's definitely a problem. And I can't say nothing bad about the company. I can only say what's bad is the scheduling. You can't schedule runs that are short, to me, short runs. Anything under 900 is a short run. Anything under 900 miles is just throwing pennies at me, really. So I'm taking it for what it is, but at the same time, I should be allowed to voice my opinion on what's going on without there being an issue. And I'm seeing there's no issue, so I'm glad to be able to voice my opinion. But I wish it was better. I wish that due to the fact that I'm staying out here longer than what's asked of me, I would be given 2,400 mile runs every week. So I would have nothing to complain about. You know, I did a 34-hour reset, which I wasn't supposed to, just to get this run. You know, I dropped off the load. I dropped off the last load prior to the one I just had. I dropped that off Wednesday night. Had to wait till Friday just to get Friday just to pick up my next load, which I dropped off Saturday. Quick 300-mile run, and then boom, got this one, you know, almost 700 miles. And being told that, not even being told, just looking at it where you don't want to, you looking at the date like, why is it pushed back so far? Like, why is it pushed back so far where I have to drop it off on the 24th when I'll be there Sunday? You know, I could be there Sunday afternoon. Place isn't open on Sunday? Well, schedule it for Monday then. Now, I was told it was scheduled for Monday. Come to find out, it was still scheduled for Tuesday when I went over there. Mind you, I went there and waited an hour just to be told, yeah, they scheduled it for Tuesday, but it's 10 o'clock instead of 12. I'm like, wow. So I wasted an hour going there. Then I wasted another hour waiting around just to be told we can't take you today because the scheduling was wrong. Man, I have plans to go home. Now I can't do it due to scheduling issues out of my hands. When they know what type of driver I am, I continue to explain like, hey, I'm a good driver. I'll make sure the truck is right. I'll make sure to get there in a timely manner. Just, this is how I run. This is my ETA. You know, hook me up. Most of the time they do, and the times they don't, it's always when something's going on. And that's, I guess that's the life of a trucker, but I shouldn't have to accept it more than, you know, once or twice every few months. Especially when you know what type of driver I am. Even when something happens, I tend to try not to sit around. I mean, if a tire pops, I'm not gonna lie, I'm able to get to a safe haven to get the tire fixed, I will literally do that. I really don't want to be sitting on the side of the road unless I have to. Due to the fact that when you're sitting on the side of the road, it's a major weight. It's a major inconvenience to be sitting on the side of the road. So all you new truck drivers got to understand these things. Learn how you are as a driver. Speak to your DMs. Let them know how you drive. Pre-plan your whole trip so you know where you're going to be at, how much time it's going to take you. Give yourself an hour and a half window just in case you want to pull over and take a shower. You know, pull over, do your 30-minute break, pull over, use the restroom, pull over and, I don't know, go to a store. Sometimes I go to a grocery outlet, pick up some of the things I need. It's a real convenience going to the grocery outlets on the 5 and on the 99. There's places you can stop where it's truck access, real easy to hop out, get what you need, hop back in your truck and keep it pushing. So pre-plan everything and you'll know what type of driver you are. You'll know if you want to run 10 hours in a day. You'll know if you want to run 8 hours if you have the time to do so. On those days where you know it's a short run, I would say drive the 10, 11 hours and get near your destination. And then cut back on days after that. So when you're done with your 34, boom, write everything down, pre-plan. Okay, it's gonna take me 13 hours to get where I need to go. Do 10 that first day, because when you're running on recaps, you're gonna want that 10 hours back at the beginning of the next week. So do the 10, then do 2, since it's a 13-hour run. 10, 2. Hopefully they got a run for you right after you drop that load off. Then do another 6. So that gives you about 9 hours on the clock for that next day. And just do 8 a couple days, so you manage your time right. But like I said, the scheduling depends on them. You can call and see if you can get your load dropped off early. That's what I tend to do with some of the runs I have. I'll call in like, hey, I'm not far, I'm an hour out, I understand that I'm a day early. If you could take me, cool. If you can't, I totally understand, but I just want you to know I'm early. If that's just how I drive. And I tend to get unloaded on those days that I'm early. Even if I'm the last one of the day, they tend to unload me early. It's the matter of how you speak to them, how you present yourself. If you're a regular driver to those stops, and a lot of the ones I go to, I'm regular driver, so they understand, man, this guy might be here early, and if we could take him because we got the room, we will. And I appreciate that. But things like this where it's the weekend and these places are closed, so you can't even talk to them until the day of or the day before, makes everything a hassle. So I would think your company should schedule everything right. Now that's my talk for today. Slightly babbling, you guys know how I do. I'd appreciate it if you guys like, share, and subscribe. I'm about to go take my walk, get my exercise in, which I really need. I've been gaining some weight being in this truck. Right now, I'm fasting, trying to cleanse myself and get back down to the low 200s. But I'll catch you on the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one.